Yep. Yep. Can we go for it, Rich? Shall we?
Yes,
Yeah, go.
yes, Trevor, start.
Yep. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'd just like to welcome you to tonight's extraordinary meeting. Extraordinary being the operative word, and thank you for your patience while we sorted out the electronics. If I may, we'll go straight on with the meeting, looking at the agenda. We start off with public question time. Are we looking at anything in that direction? Any people on phone or anything?
No, we don't seem to have it. We don't seem to have anyone. No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that.
Can I come in on that, please, Trevor? I don't know whether it's allowed or not, but I've had quite a lot of people concerned about the what's been gone on in the reservoir areas of Holme Firth. There's been a lot of very much antisocial behaviour going on, and things which are not very good for the community at all. I don't know whether anybody knows about this or not, but they're getting very wet.
Yep. Thank you for that, Judith.
Bigley, I know that.
Yeah. We've been up there earlier on today. I'll come on to it later on if you wish. We've been looking around to see what was operative and what wasn't, and looking at the volume of people and vehicles, etc., in and around the Upper Holme Valley. So yeah, we're on to it, and spent some time up there today, which I'll explain later on if that's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Second item being the availability of recording a meeting. Well, I think we can look at that one as being read, because everything now is being recorded, and I presume at some stage will be available to us if we so wished. Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Accept apologies. Have we had any, Rich?
Liz is clerking this. I'm just technical.
Oh.
No, I haven't had any apologies. I thought Councillor Dalton wasn't joining us, but I see he's here.
Right. Thank you for that. And item 3 is to receive members' interests on items on the agenda. Consider any written requests for new DPI dispensations. Have we anything in that line? No. Thank you very much. Item 4, to receive any officers' interest in items on the agenda.
That's a no from me.
No. Okay. Thank you
No
very
from
much.
me.
Item 5 is to consider whether any items on the agenda should be discussed in private. Anybody spotted anything that's...
I've not seen anything.
Okay, thank you very much. 6 is to formally adopt the standing orders for remote meetings. Now, I have a copy of the standing orders. Oh. There we go. Yeah. Those orders are addendums to the parish council standing orders. So these are, because we are working remotely, these are extras which we've got to work to, or which we are advised to work to.
Can I propose them, please?
Yeah, I second them.
Have we all read them?
Okay.
Yeah, I read them before the meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are some people reading through it still? So I just want to.
I think you're showing off a bit there, Trevor. I don't know how to do that.
Are we? Yeah. I think we're doing well there.
You are.
Yeah. Can we? The thing is, can we formally adopt the standing orders for remote meetings?
Yes, Jason's just proposed and I second it.
Perhaps we can. Do we need to vote on that one, or are we all happy with that at the moment?
We need to vote on it, yeah.
Vote.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I suggest that one person does it at a time so it doesn't get confusing on voting?
Pardon?
Can one person speak at a time when they're voting, saying yes or no, so it
Why
doesn't get
don't we do
confusing?
raise hand? Do raise hand.
Yeah. I think do
On
raise.
the right-hand panel, you can raise your hand.
Right.
Reactions.
I think that'll be tough for some people. I think just raise a physical hand.
Yeah, you're happy with that?
Okay.
Can we have a show of hands on that one? See if we're happy to adopt the code. Have we got everyone?
Yeah.
All four except for one.
Well, you've got enough.
Yeah. Right. Any abstentions on that vote, please? I don't know whether we got one abstention. Thank you very much. Item 7, to approve the new schedule of
Point of order,
online
Chair.
meet.
Point of order. Did we have anyone against?
Well, I got everyone there, to be honest. But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, have we anyone against? No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So I omitted that because everybody had one way or another cast a vote. But thank you for that. Cheers. Right, and to approve the new schedule of online meetings up to August 2020. Have you? There we go. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Can I propose that, Mr. Chairman, please?
I
Yep,
have some comments, Richard.
Okay.
Just a question, really. There's
Right.
no annual general meeting noted on the calendar. Is it the intention not to have an annual general meeting this year?
I'm not the clerk on this, Councillor Dalton. It's Councillor Bennett.
Mr. Clark.
Sorry, Richard.
Yes, that is the suggestion. That was allowed by. That was suggested by NELC that you could go through the year without.
As long as
having-
all councillors are aware that that's what they're voting for if they're adopting this, that we're basically saying we're not having an annual general meeting this year. That's the inference of accepting this motion. I'll leave my comments there.
We vote.
Can I
Councillor
just
Holme.
say something on that? We don't, as a parish council, my understanding is we don't have annual general meetings. We have an annual parish meeting, which is an opportunity for parishioners to talk to us. But similarly, by restarting virtual meetings in this way, people are able to talk to us, even if it's via the pre-arrangement with the clerk. People could have called in to speak to us today. So I think it's important we have a schedule of meetings going forward. And there isn't a plan to change any of the chairs or vice chairs for the full council or for the committees, and therefore the standard things that would happen at our annual meeting of the council aren't required until later on, which is what's been suggested, and I would support.
Is everyone clear with that? Because that goes on to the to item 8. If that's all right.
Yeah. We need to vote on that.
A minute with.
You need to vote. You need to vote, Councillor Bellamy.
Sorry, say again.
You need to do the vote.
Yes. Are we looking at a vote with hands again? Is that an acceptable way of doing?
No.
Yep.
Can I carry I think we've got a schedule of meetings. Yeah. But it says to consider whether the council approves the suggestion. Sorry, to approve the new schedule of meetings, online meetings, up till August 2020.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, where we are when it gets to August 2020, if, for instance, we're back and we can have full meetings and normal meetings, at that point, are we able to have a full council, you know, an annual meeting of the full council at that point? Or are we agreeing that we're going to agree that for the whole of the year?
I think that's the next point. That's the next item on the agenda.
The next item is
But we can't vote on it till we know. It can't be the next item.
So I've just to clarify, we're only voting to accept that schedule until August 2020.
Yeah.
to accept it up to that date.
Although this meeting's scheduled past that, we're only accepting it up until August 2020. That's the bit I wasn't.
Yeah, might it be a good idea to put a date on that? A day. We have a meeting.
The 1st of August.
The 31st of August 2020.
Are we okay with that?
I'm happy with that.
Yep. Any other comments? Okay, so yes. Anybody wanting to speak on that, please?
Sorry, I was just going to say 31st of August, the only problem with that is we then have to decide at full council on the 20th of July whether we wanted to go forward, and given how COVID-19 restrictions sort of emerge on a every week or 2 weeks basis, it might make more sense to approve up to a full council meeting, and I see there's one proposed for the 28th of September.
The problem is I haven't really finalised the schedule beyond August, so why don't we say up until the 20th of July, which is the final council meeting on this part of the schedule, and then we'll revisit it then.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've just lost the connection then. Everybody went quiet. Can you just repeat what's just been said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but the R froze, so I don't know what was said.
We were trying to decide when we should have the schedule up to, so that we know when we're going to revisit it and whether we're coming back to meet in person. So what we've decided is that we will accept the schedule, if you all agree, up until the 20th of July, which is a council meeting. And then we'll either set the schedule for the next term, so to speak, online, or we'll go back to regular meetings.
Yeah. Can I just ask, though, is 31st of August a bank holiday Monday?
I hope not.
Because it's last Monday in August, isn't it?
Is it? It's usually the 24th. It's usually before the 31st, isn't it?
Last Monday in August, usually.
Oh,
It's the 31st this year. Yeah, just
Only
checked it.
approving it to the 20th of July. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bringing it to attention now so it can be looked at.
Okay.
I'll
Tom,
do some
you're
more.
Yeah, I was.
you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I was just going to propose that we decide on the 28th of August, July, sorry, and go on from there. And
I'll second that.
yeah, I'd like to ask for a vote on that.
That's the next. That's the last council meeting on. Yeah.
Yeah, 28th of July.
Yeah. Can we take that as a proposal with a second and look for support for it, please? Can show of hands again, if you would, please. Yeah. Are we okay? Any abstentions on that one, please?
Councillor Dalton abstaining.
Yeah. Okay, and otherwise, anybody against that as a proposal? No. Right, thank you. Item 8, which is to consider whether the council approves of the suggestion from NALC that councils continue in the current year 2020/21 with the same council chairman and committee and council committees as were constituted last year. So
I support that.
yeah, can I propose that we'll look at that and accept that as a recommendation that we need to follow, please. If anybody would like to have somebody with a hand up there, Councillor Brooke.
Yeah, I want to suggest that we review that in September, because if the rules change and the people would like the opportunity to sit down as a chairman of the committee, they should have the option of doing that and not being forced to do it. So I suggest that if we do have a full council meeting in September and it's all back to normal as such, that we look about going, even if it's only for 6 months, that we change jobs and all that.
Okay, I've seen somebody else's hand up.
Me.
Michael, there you go. Yes, fire away.
Yeah, as has previously been said, the situation, the government guidance is changing on a weekly basis, and you know, therefore, if we are back to something like normality in the shorter term and what have you, I see us making a vote which ties our hands right through until next April. Now, when we could be in a entirely different place in 2 months' time.
In Zoom,
Pardon, do you want me to speak?
No, I was going to carry on, but someone else was speaking at the same time.
Go on, Michael.
It wasn't me, it was my wife.
So, yeah, so I think we're tying our hands for a decision that takes us right through till next April, when in 4 weeks' time we could be in a whole different position. I do bear in mind, once we get to sort of 3/4 or more through the year, then that's probably where we'd have to be. We'd have to go with that. But I think making a decision now, tying our hands, is you know, we could be somewhere completely different in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah. Tom, your comment, please.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Michael's just said. Then we might be in a position at the next full council meeting at the end of July, where we would want to consider this again. And I don't want to be chair of CASC for the whole of the next year anyway, because I'm going to be very busy coming into July for the rest of probably the next 20 years. So, I don't want to be chairman of CASC definitely for the next year or so. I'm happy to do it for the next meeting in a couple of weeks, but I'm not as busy now. But in a few weeks I will be very busy. So
yeah,
I think we should just move this item on till. I think we should. Well, I'm going to propose that they stay as they are until the next full council meeting, but we reviewed them.
No, I'll second that.
Can I speak, please?
I could barely hear that, to be honest, Tom. Judith, your comments, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I would prefer that we kept them on until next year, because if somebody does want to step down, they can step down.
Yeah,
they're not forced to keep it.
Yeah, in that sense, I suppose it's correct that if somebody needs or desires to step down from a post any time over the ensuing year, then it's our right to do so.
Yeah.
Tom, your comment, please.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that that's a bit undemocratic. If this had been a normal council year, at the first council meeting of the year, we would vote on who should be the chairman of the committees. So I think that just by saying everyone stays in for another year, I think that's undemocratic. For the time being, don't get me wrong, for the time being, I think it's okay. So till the next council meeting, but I think that if we just say people can stay in for another year, it's not democratic.
How can it be undemocratic if we're going to vote on it now?
Well,
Councillor Carr has his hand up for ages.
Okay, your volume is very, very low, Tom. I can barely hear you, in actual fact.
Sorry, I'll try and speak up next time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Doug's.
Yeah, just to echo what some other people have said, really, I think we should revisit this either in the July meeting or even in the September meeting. But I certainly don't think we should. I don't think we should write off at the annual meeting, and I don't think we should not have the opportunity to refresh posts, either because people want to stand down or because there's other people that want to do it anyway. I don't think we need to write off the year at this point. So I'd propose that we defer this item for the next meeting and probably look at it properly in July or September.
Can I speak, Trevor?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I think we've gone on too long about this. If the chairman and the vice chairman are wishing to stop in office for another till the end of next year, we should forget about everybody else and let's get on with what we're doing and get some business done. It's too long, is this? And I agree with Judith that we leave everybody as they are till next spring, by which time I hope we're back to normal.
Okay, Di, had you got your hand up then?
I had, yes. I'm in agreement with Tom. I think that it ought to be reviewed. This situation can't go on indefinitely. And I think we ought to try and get back into some sort of normality and follow procedures that we have done in the past.
Mr. Chairman,
anybody else?
Tom Dixon made a proposal. I second it. Can I suggest that we vote on Councillor Tom Dixon's proposal, please? That we come back and review this meeting in July with the schedules like that. And let's move on, please.
Yeah. Is there any?
Yeah, there
any
is.
Other proposals? Yeah.
The proposal is as stated on the agenda item. We're either rejecting it or we're not. We're not making up new motions as we go along.
Okay.
And it says to consider whether the council approves of the suggestion from NALC that councils can continue in the current year, 2021, with the same council chairman and committees as were constituted last year. We're either voting for it or against it or abstaining.
Yep. Okay. Are we? Has everybody? Mary, go ahead.
I think perhaps something depends on the interpretation of that, because the wording might suggest that it could continue for some time, but not necessarily for the whole year. So I don't
just for the whole year.
It says consider it as well, so we're considering it,
yeah.
And we can make our own opinion of it. So
yeah,
we're considering it, having a discussion.
Somebody can bring another motion at some other future point to change the committee members.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, as a council, we're allowed to make an amendment to a proposal, which Councillor Tom Dixon has already said. He's made an amendment to this said proposal, which we can vote on.
Could I please just add here?
Yes.
That we started off last year saying that we were only going to be allowed, and I know I've spoken before, we're only allowed to speak once. Can we reiterate that, please?
Yes, indeed. That's very much mentioned on our standing orders and the new standing orders. Speaking once is adequate for anybody's needs.
For an item.
So
anyone who hasn't
we're looking at item 8 and to say whether or not the council approves of the suggestion from NALC. We know NALC is obviously, we take guidance from them on legal matters, etc. That the council continues in the current year 2021 with the same council and chairman and committees as were constituted last year. So that's what
and I'll vote
to either approve or otherwise. You know, on the agenda. So can we oh, somebody's hand up. Paul, your comment, please.
All right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So if we look at with a show of hands, can we look at with regard to considering whether we approve the suggestion, can we look at the people who approve the suggestion from now that we do retain until we decide otherwise, basically.
Until July.
Yeah.
Until the July meeting.
No, can I clarify?
No.
Can I just clarify that the intention of that item was that we kept it for until next May?
Yeah.
That's what the now guidance has been. So we're either voting to keep it the same until next
Yep.
May, or you're turning that down and saying that you want to look at it earlier. That's the choice.
So which has it to be first? That we keep it until next May?
Yeah, that's what we're voting on now.
Right.
Has anybody proposed that though? Has anybody proposed?
I propose it.
Okay.
I propose that we keep it on until next May, as suggested by now.
Okay.
Can we vote now?
Yes, please. Put your
So
hand up.
we're looking at
Right, we've got 2 votes that I can see. 3. I can only see 4 hands up for that. Is that right?
Yep.
So perhaps we can move to those against.
Yep.
Okay, lot more hands. So I think that's been turned down.
Right.
So I suggest what I will do, I think, is put up the new standing orders for the council meeting on the 29th of June, because there's an issue about changing some of them. And then you will reconsider when you want to have the vote about new committee chairman, and we'll decide on the 20th of July.
Could I please just come back in? So if we consider changing over from July for the 6 months, we will be changing it again then in May. Yes, or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Looks like that. Yes. Councillor Dalton, go ahead, please.
I'm just wondering who now is the committee chairman and vice chairs. How do we have any? We just voted not to continue in the current year with vice chairman and chairman. Who's chairing and vice chairing the committees?
I think what we've decided is we're not going to carry on till next May with the current chairman. We're obviously going to carry on with the ones we have at the moment until they're changed, but we've decided that that's going to be revisited on the 20th of July.
I reiterate my question: who's the chairman of the committee if we vote against this resolution on the?
Can we suggest that we vote on this proposal?
You just voted against continuing with the committee, with the committee chairs and vice chairs. Who will chair the next whatever planning committee? Who will chair the next publications and community? There isn't a chair. You voted against continuing.
No, Councillor Dalton. What's happened is you have voted against continuing with the same chairs until next May. So the current chairs stay the same until there's a vote on that matter.
We haven't actually.
Again, I don't see the bit about May.
I think you just.
Can I just interject? Can I interject, please? We had a meeting just before we went into lockdown, and we agreed that we wouldn't have we wouldn't change chairs until we could have a full meeting. We agreed there that that's what it would be, and they would stay in place until that meeting. All we've done now is agree that we're not going to continue and then till May. So the existing thing that we will continue until we can have a full council meeting is the current situation. That's the status quo. All we've done is saying that we're not going to extend that and through right till May default. All we've said is we carry on as we are until we can have a meeting.
Yeah. Can I just come on?
It to be.
If I may, please.
Yeah, I don't dispute that. Is this not a meeting?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
If I may, looking at 23rd of March meeting, it was resolved that item 184, item 2, the officers and chairman and vice chairman of the council for full council and standing committees would remain the same until further notice, until an annual council meeting could be held once council meetings were reinstated. That was...
Well, that's even worse, isn't it? That means until the next annual meeting, which we've just voted we're not having.
Yes, no.
Right.
Right, correct.
Can't we just move?
Yeah. So, with regard to this, that was taken from that last meeting that was held. Where does that leave us with this?
In a mess.
Any?
Well, I suggest that we take the practical exit from this in that there is an agreement, there's a majority of people who would like to revisit the voting in of chairman and chairman of committees, and that we arrange to do that on the 20th of July, and that until then the committee chairmen remain as they are.
Yeah, that was my original proposal. I think it was seconded as well. So can
I second that one already, yeah.
Can we take a vote on that then, Chairman?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please do.
I thought with standing orders, once we've taken the vote, we can't change the vote for 6 months. Am I right?
Yeah.
You are right.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman,
So where does that leave us?
Mr. Chairman, what we're going to be looking at was an amendment to the what we was asked to do, which we're allowed to do on the council. It was an amendment, so we're amending the date to when we change our minds from instead of May, which bring it back forward to July. That is the amendment which we should be voting on first, and not the other way around. It was an amendment we should vote on first.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, any comment on that one, please?
Well, I mean, I think procedurally that's correct, isn't it? The amendment should have been voted on first, but we all missed it.
The amendment was there, the chair chose not to take it.
Can
Sorry,
I
I missed
suggest
that.
we vote on this amendment, please, and move forward? Because we all agree that there's an amendment been made, a date has been set, we need to vote on it now. We all know what date it is. Can we move forward, please?
Yep.
Are we having a second vote on this item then with an amendment? Could we be clear what we're voting on, please?
Yep.
We've already voted once.
Doug's, see your hand up.
I think Kath makes a good point about not being able to vote on the same thing twice, but we wouldn't actually be this was a vote about the NALC recommendation. We wouldn't be voting about the NALC recommendation. We'd be making our own decision to reset the date for the annual council. So I don't actually think that issue about 2 votes in 6 months applies in this case. I do think that ideally we should have had the amendment, and I would have voted for the amendment, but I don't see any reason why we can't revisit this as long as it's not phrased as a NALC amendment, as a NALC proposal.
So, any other comments?
Yes, can I speak, Chair?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, we've voted against NALC's suggestion. We've majority agreed that we will revisit this and reassess it when we have the next full council meeting. So what is the problem? Why are we dragging this on and on and on?
Right.
We've voted on it, and we've got the majority of the people want to reassess this when we start again, hopefully in July. So why are we going in circles? We're not progressing with this decision.
We need to have a vote on my proposal. I've been waiting for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, was that your proposal that was voted on, Tom?
No, my proposal is we need to vote on it. We haven't voted on it yet. My proposal is that we leave them as they are until July 28th. I think it is full council, and then decide then, because things may change by then.
You think we'll be okay? And that,
Needs a seconder. I'll
Yeah.
second that.
that already.
Yeah, so we just need to vote on it now.
yeah. Okay. We'll vote on that with a show of hands. Who is in favour of that proposal? Yeah.
What we're voting on now.
Will it go review it again on the?
Sarah, have you got your hand up?
Yeah. Are we looking?
Sorry, Clark, you shouldn't be prompting.
I can't see a hand.
Sorry, it was
Well, maybe
there.
she isn't, maybe she isn't putting a hand up.
Yeah, sorry, because I didn't have it up high enough.
Okay.
Right, maybe I should have said, where is your hand, Councillor Sheard? Would that be better?
Yeah. Okay. Have we got a number on that one, Rich?
Because it's frozen again.
Keep your hands up, please.
Yeah.
It's all but one. I don't. Kath, I can't see your hand.
Okay.
Councillor Bellamy.
Yep.
I can't see Councillor Kath Bellamy's hand either way.
Okay.
I'm abstaining.
Right. And I can't see what Paul Dixon is doing either with his hands.
He's got his down.
Okay.
Nothing with it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's a majority. That vote is carried.
Okay. Right. Right. Away we go. I hope. So have we put that one to bed now? Have we?
Yes.
Are we happy with that one? Everybody's somewhat suited in one way or another. Right, item 9. Section 14, Councillor Standish Order. The Council is informed that a member of the public made a complaint about one of our councillors under the Code of Conduct. Well, I think we're all aware of that one. So
I'm not aware, Councillor.
Neither am I.
I'm not aware who is the person in question.
Well, you shouldn't be told anyway until the monitoring officer's dealt with it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't aware of it either.
Go to the monitoring officer. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, it's that's exactly
It's a bit
what
concerning that people do know. They shouldn't know.
This matter has been referred to the monitoring officer at Kirklees. So that's the information we have to pass at the moment. Okay.
Noted.
Noted.
Yep, thank you very much. Item 10, which is grants. There are 2 grants, one of them for Hepworth Junior and Infant School and one for the Holme Under 15s Football Club. And both these grants have been cancelled on the grounds that for one reason or another they're not taking place.
Noted.
So can you note those 2, please?
Yeah.
Has anybody any comment to make on them? No? Thank you very much. And we have a referral from Pubs and Comms Committee to consider the payment of £1,076.10 for the purchase of 3 Holme Valley Parish Council plaques, one for the Civic Hall, one for Holmfirth Toilets and one for Honley Library. Now I know the price has changed slightly on this one. It has increased, but what we're looking at is let's have a look. Yeah, the new prices are up there. We're looking at a total, including VAT, of £1,330.20 for the 3 plaques. Are we all happy with that as a... Yeah, I've seen a hand up there.
Proposal, please.
Say again.
Can I propose that, please, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Can I just speak first before we have any proposals?
Yeah,
Have we had 3 quotes? And secondly, is the monogram at the top correct? Or we have changed the monogram, if you remember, of the parish council. Is that correct? And have we had 3 quotes?
Yes.
Have we? I'm not sure on the quote situation.
We've had 9 quotes, I think.
9?
I think so.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fine.
How many? That's fine. So are we happy with that?
Trevor.
Yes.
Trevor, can I just say, obviously the asset transfer of Holme Library hasn't gone through yet, has it?
No, that's right.
So is this purchase going to be delayed until after that's happened, or are they going to be purchased 3 at the same time?
I think, in all probability, this is an assumption on my part. It was looking at a total cost for the 3, including postage, and the thing I was going to suggest, and it is still on the cards, is whether it be to collect 3 of them, collect 2 of them, or whatever. The place where these items are being manufactured. When I'm going to meetings over at Buxton for the Peak Park, I pass the virtual premise where they're making these things. So I did initially look at this till I saw the price and think, oh, I can save the postage on that. But the postage is, I believe, £18 plus VAT, so it's not worth haggling about. But
I'm just thinking that spending £310.
Yeah.
Before something's actually confirmed, you wouldn't want to tempt fate, would you?
What's the timeline on the library? When do we think we're going to be there?
I think it's probably likely to be kind of maybe late summer, but it's not completely 100% clear yet. That's why I'm suggesting maybe kind of a delay on that one, really.
It's just that it says that this price can be held until September.
Right,
so I'm wondering if it's worthwhile having a phone call with the company and saying, yeah, we're very, very interested, but one of the assets hasn't gone through, and just explain the situation and saying as soon as that's confirmed, we'll confirm the order. Or could you supply the other 2 and we'll make a decision on the last one when that goes through?
Is that possible?
Yeah.
The only thing I could suggest is that if that one went through, is that there wasn't a date put onto it of when we took over the running of the library. I don't.
Other than the postage.
It's a good point, is that, I suppose, for the Holme Library one, because we haven't yet got a takeover date, have we, as such?
We haven't, and it's not definitely copper fastened that it'll happen.
Right.
Like 99.9%, but who knows what might happen in the next few months.
So the suggestion would appear to be then that we'll look at a revised price for the 2 and look at number 3 as and when required.
Or just tell them the exact situation. That we think it's going through, we just don't want to buy it and it doesn't go through, and we can't give you the exact date. So can we have the 2 that we want, and then we'll confirm on the other one?
Yeah. We better confirm that with the clerk who's done the dealings with the company. So can we take it to that? Are we happy with that, folks?
That makes sense to me.
Do we really want to go through the whole approval of this again, or do we want to approve it subject to the toilets one and the civic hall one being delivered in advance of the Holme Library one, rather than having to have a whole new agenda item in September or October, whenever the Holme Library comes through? We could already have it approved that we'll pay up to that amount plus an extra delivery charge.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's all right. Are we okay at that? So we'll follow that route, and we will get our plaques one way or another, whether it's a 2 or a 1 or whether it's 3 ones. Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
We don't need to vote on that, do we?
Yeah.
No. Did we ought to do? Yeah, fine. So we'll go down that route with regard to, as we've just discussed, a 2 and probably a 1 at a later date. Can we have a show of hands, please? See if we're in favour of that as a route to go. Yep. Okay. Anybody against that? Or any abstentions, please? No. Fine. Thank you.
There's one abstention.
One abstention.
Oh, sorry. I hadn't seen that one. Okay. Right. Thank you for that. We shall now look at joint membership, or consider a payment of joint membership.
No.
Our
whoa.
We're on number
Well, mine's
12. We're on 12, Trevor.
Well, confirm minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a few. I haven't got my glasses on. Right. We're looking at item 12, which is to confirm the minutes of the previous council meeting, which was held 23rd of March 2020.
I'd like to propose them, please, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Sorry, I missed who that was. We've a proposal there, have we?
I'll second them.
Yep. Propose and a seconder.
I'll second it.
Right. Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep. Are we? Again, if we're content with that, please show of hands, and then we know where we're at.
It's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Somewhere near. Are we?
Against.
Against, please.
No, sorry. Not
Against
me.
that. Right.
No, no, I'm not against.
Abstentions, please.
Below.
So, all in all, did we get a number on that one?
I don't think we need to. It's just carried.
Yeah, carried through. Well, that's fine. Absolutely. Right.
Number 13.
Planning. Item 13 is to confirm the minutes of the planning committee, 9th of March.
I'll propose them.
Are we looking at that one? Judith?
Yeah.
Can you relate to 9th of March, please?
Could I ask the committee, please, to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of March 2020, number 1920-177 to 1920-191, and ask that they be adopted, please?
Yes. Can we agree to confirm those minutes, please? Yep. If you would, please. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Can I also come in on, please, on 21 as well, which is the decision submitted by the Deputy Clerk and delegated powers to Kirklees Planning Department regarding applications that have been received since the last formal meeting on the 9th of March 2020. Planning list G. Can I ask that those be approved and that they be adopted, please, as well?
Yeah. What number was that one, Judith?
There was no number attached to these at all, unfortunately.
Oh. Okay.
Item 14 on your agenda.
Right. Delete application. Yep. Okay. Can we agree with that one, please? Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're looking now at 15 to note payments made to support the community during the emergency form. Budgets made available by the council on the 23rd.
Noted.
Yeah. Everybody noted that one, please?
Mr. Chairman.
Can I just have a clarification?
Chairman, please.
With two items following that one.
The item of £6,300 paid to the Full Life Church Bank.
Yes.
It says here 1 month's funds were transferred from Kirklees Council. Has Kirklees Council transferred that back? Have we got that back now?
Sorry, that's a mistake in my my agenda. It was transferred from us, and then the understanding was that if Kirklees subsequently put that money into that organisation, that we would get our money back, but that hasn't happened. No.
Could we have a list of the 35 local families so that everybody knows who is being supported? A lot of people are being supported that don't need supporting.
Mr. Chairman, that's about people's rights, local privacy.
Sorry.
That's a bad idea.
Councillor Dalton, you got your hand up. You go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's just that the item on the agenda, which I was going to note, it says 6,300 paid to the Full Life Church Food Bank to support 35 local families for 1 month until funds were received from Kirklees Council. Yeah, what I'm hearing is that we know that we're not going to get funds from Kirklees Council. So why write it that way? Why not just put 6,300 paid, Full Life Church? We're not getting the money back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, point taken. Now, do we
amend that?
Does that leave us in a position where we need to talk to Kirklees with a view to asking about funds?
I think you'd have to ask Councillor Carr and Councillor Blacker about that.
Okay, one moment.
Could I just speak, please? Because I'm given to understand that some of this money that's gone to the Full Life Church hasn't not necessarily been to support local people, but people throughout the Holme Valley and the Combe Valley and the other areas as well, where need was needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can that be confirmed or denied?
It's denied. It's been denied. I was clearly told that these were local families within the valley.
Right, that was a clear statement. Okay.
Can I make a couple of additions there, Chairman, before you move on, please?
Yes.
I'm afraid that I omitted another payment that was made for £240 to R2 Distillers for hand sanitizer. And then this last week, there's been another payment from that fund for £2,000 for travelling expenses for the volunteers. So in total, we've so spent
£2,000 for what? Travelling expenses for volunteers. If you volunteer, you do it voluntary, not get paid.
Well, their time is voluntary.
We have to pay.
As I understand
I think you just give him money away for the sake of it.
Right.
Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Brooke, go on.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a point that all monies were sent out to our councillors for approval or disapproval? The money was approved by a majority of each councillor that these payments were approved. So it's nothing gone ahead at all. It's all been approved by a majority of councillors. So I think this is what to be noted. Agreed that we need to amend that, what's been put on the sheet there regarding the 6,300 to the Full Life Church, that it should be a payment being made. We shouldn't mention about the council coming back, the Kirklees Council, but it should be noted that all these payments were approved by all councillors, or approved by a majority of councillors.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
The 200. Can I come in that the £200 wasn't actually approved? Well, I only read about it, and I certainly didn't approve of it, because once again, as Councillor Dixon says, you know, if you're a volunteer, you're a volunteer.
Okay. Well, that money has been paid from Parish Council funds, I take it. So,
why is it being paid out without our knowledge? It's obvious the clerk paid these last two amounts out without anybody's knowledge. I haven't knowledge of it.
I think the hand sanitizer one was when I was on leave, and I think the deputy clerk managed that. I'm not quite sure what the process was, but the £2,000 last week was definitely, everybody was emailed about it, and I've also emailed the results of that request.
I've got a correction for what's just been said, which was wrong, Mr. Chairman.
Right. Please
It's
go
clear
ahead.
that the payments are approved as voted in the previous council meeting. Those decisions were delegated to the chairman and the vice chairman to make. Whether they consulted informally or formally, well, informally other councillors to get their views, that's fine. But the decision making was delegated specifically to the council's chairman and vice chair.
Yep.
And that's as noted in the minutes from the meeting of the 23rd. It wasn't done by approval of the whole. The council approved that delegation to the chairman and the vice chairman. They're responsible for the decision making on this.
Okay. Tom, your comment, please.
Yeah, emails did go out to everybody on email about the different expenditure. We did get emails about them all, including the £200. I think by this, I think with councillors responding, it's just to give some kind of scope or suggestions that whether we are in favour of this or not. And ultimately, it would be up to the chairman and the vice chairman, as per the minute, as per what Councillor Dalton has mentioned, them to decide whether we make the payment. But like, if I respond to an email saying I approve of it, like, I don't think it comes down to everybody's votes. But like, if say the majority of people do reply saying they approve of it, then that kind of gives some idea to Councillor Bellamy and Hogley. With the volunteers, some of these volunteers could be making numerous trips around the valley, picking up food, driving to drop the food off, driving back, and you can incur quite a bit of expense from doing these things. So I think it's only right that the petrol costs are reimbursed to the volunteers who've gone in there. The volunteers.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Can I finish, please?
Well, not with the point of order. No, you can't.
The volunteers. The
council is talking about something not an item on the meeting, i.e., this other £2,000 for expenses. If the council wants to, if the vice chairman and the chair wish to note that to the council, they can do so at the next meeting under a different item. Can we not move on?
Mm-hmm.
Michael, I'm asking that you note them this time, because they don't actually have to be agreed. They were made under delegated powers. So I'm asking you to accept those 3 payments and note them today.
I just think we're a gravy train.
Yep. Michael, your comments, please.
Yeah, what Councillor Dalton has just said has given quite a clear and concise, where the position is with it and what have you. But I think it's valuable in this meeting that we note that, but also the councillors that have some agreement from that have the opportunity to put on their record that they don't agree with the way that was spent. But other than that, noted, and let's move on.
Yeah.
Yep. Did everyone hear that comment from from Michael? Are we noting?
Yes.
What is?
Yes, noted.
Stage. Are we?
Can I just come in on that, please, just before we take a vote?
Yeah.
Originally, the 240 was paid out for the hand sanitizer. I believe that was for, was it 30 litres? And then it sounded as if they'd reduced that much, because they wanted £300 originally for these hand sanitizers that they made, of which they, and the people that had made it, or whoever else had put it out on the media, made it appear that actual sanitizer had been given. However, it wasn't given, and I was under the impression that the whatever literage had been given had been reduced to 240. But in actual fact, it had been reduced down to 20 litres. So in actual fact, if we'd have worked at it properly and thought about it, we were better off having the 30 litres and paying the £300, because half of £200 is another 100, and so we didn't get it any cheaper at all.
You'd have got it free if you'd have sent councillor first to have it, to get it.
Talking.
Well, probably somebody else might have let people have stuff for free, mightn't they?
Yep. So,
do you not think other people would have let them have it for free?
With respect, none of you know what you're talking about in this regard. The guy who made it actually gave a considerable amount free to various people, including us. And this was a second batch we got a good price for. We just read it in detail. It's a couple of £100 quid. It's spent. There's no need to discuss it anymore. I dropped off the call. I've just got back on. But you seem to be whinging about stuff that isn't done, and we got a good price. Well, there's no need to discuss
The taxpayers will be delighted.
Minister, please.
right. Can we move on? Can we? We've noted that what has gone on, what has been dealt with by that. Yep. So we're now looking at 17. No, we're not. We're looking at. Excuse me, our phone's ringing. Item 14, to confirm the decision submitted by the Deputy Clerk under delegated powers to Kirklees Council Planning Department regarding applications that have been received since the last formal meeting.
No, we're going back now.
Done that one.
I've done that one.
You've done, you're happy with that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to make any further comment.
17.
That's fine. And we're looking now. The only one we haven't spoke about is the 4,000 paid to Home First Civic Hall Community Trust.
Can we note that, please, Mr. Chairman?
Do we note that one, please? That has been dealt with. Yeah, thank you. 17 is to consider the payment of £30 towards a joint membership of the Yorkshire Community First organisation, along with Home First Civic Hall Community Trust. This will help with fundraising efforts for all sorts of local activities. There's a detail there about that Community First, how they describe themselves. Basically, full membership is £60, so it is looking at £30 from Parish Council and £30 again from Civic Hall Trust. Are we okay with that one?
You propose that we do that.
Yep.
I've got a comment.
Yep. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Yorkshire Community First claim to be an independent charity, blah, blah, blah. There is no registered charity called Yorkshire Community First. Are all councillors aware that there is no registered charity called Yorkshire Community First? Right. Anyway, I will be voting against this on the basis that there is no charity called Yorkshire Community First registered with the Charities Commission. I'll leave my comments there.
Okay, well, judging from what you've said, I don't think that is perhaps what we ought to decide this evening. That can be deferred back to another occasion.
Needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
Defer until the charitable status of this organisation can be confirmed or denied.
Yeah, and we'll look at that in the future. Okay. Everyone happy with that? Yep. Thank you very much. Yep. We'll leave that decision until a future meeting, and a not too distant future, we hope. Can we just have a show of hands, see if everybody's happy with that as a concept? Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Anybody not happy with that as a decision? Or
Mr. Chairman, my screen frozen, so I don't know what was proposed.
Okay. Or abstention? Anybody? No. Okay. Right. 18. It's to approve a new version of the financial regulations updated to the 2019 regulations and approved by the Finance and Management Committee on the 2nd of March. Can we look at approval of that, please? Any comments on that?
Can I please ask what the alteration? Oh, sorry.
There we go.
We're steady.
All right.
Can I speak to that question, Chairman? Because
Yes, certainly.
we're here a long time if we're looking through all the pages. So
Yep.
can we remove it? Because I can't see anybody.
Right.
Right. They're very tiny changes. 5.9 has changed. Ex gratia payments are removed. 6.8. There's a point that we're going to ask if we can make salaries paid by standing order from the new regulations. 6.18 talks about a debit card for the clerk so that we can pay for things like the Bull Guard or Amazon purchases, but we still haven't sorted that out, but it's not any different from the last lot of regulations. 11.1 B and C is in thick type, and that means that it's mandatory, and that's the bit that relates to services that you buy in. If you spend more than 25,000 on a service, you've got to tender for it. If it's 3,000 to 25,000, you have to have quotes, and if it's under 3,000, it's 3 estimates. So that's a mandatory arrangement. The only other thing that's changed is that 11.11a, they have removed the European Union Procurement Directive, and they've also taken away the option of having a petty cash float for the clerks. We're not going to have that anymore. But basically, it's pretty much the same.
Right. So,
any questions?
Yep. Anybody anything to ask on that one, please? Councillor Dalton, your hands up.
Just confirm that the new version of the financial regulations will be posted on the Parish Council website for the public to view.
Yes, it will be if it's passed.
Yeah, if it's passed. So, are we happy with that? Please, can we? If
Vote now.
Are we got a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, and can we just have a show of hands, please, to see if we can pass that through? Thank you.
Yeah, that's
yes. And anyone against, please? And any abstentions? No. Thank you very much. And right, item 19. To note the addition of financial information for the year 1920 on the council website in accordance with the requirements of the Transparency Code 2019. That's. Can we note that, please? Can we? Oh.
You note it.
Everybody's gone.
Noted.
No, thank you very much indeed. Item 20, to approve the payment schedule for August 2019. There we go.
Which will be?
Is it? Got everybody back on now.
2019?
Yeah, for August 2019.
Oh, we've had that.
If I'm...
We're on 2020 now.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that was one... It was one group of payments that there was no record of, or not sufficient record of. It was at the time when we had a locum clerk in post, I believe, and we don't actually know. I am not aware of what went on with that in August of last year.
And I just I just started on the 26th of August, so I was still very unsure of my duties, to be honest. So it's down to me.
Yeah. So are we okay to approve that now? It's been.
Can I ask where the payments to the locum clerk, were they made direct to him, or were they made to the body that set him on?
As far as I'm aware, they were paid to the group that set him on, the body that recommended his services.
They were paid to the SLCC who employed him.
Yeah.
So if the SLCC paid him, then they should have a copy of the work that he did and the hours that he put in, because they would be paying him on an hourly rate as well.
Mm-hmm.
He did submit timesheets, yes.
So I'm presuming we have copies of those timesheets.
Yes, we do.
So we would know how that worked out, because we were paying the SLCC so much per hour for the clerk, the clerk that was there then. We were paying them so much per hour for the work that he did.
That's right.
So if we didn't pay that, then how do we know how many hours he actually worked?
So we paid it. These payments were all made at the time, but the issue is they have to come before the council or the Finance and Management Committee to fulfil the financial regulations that we've just passed. And this one didn't come before the committee. It was just omitted. All the payments were made in the same way they're always made, and the pieces of paper were signed by two councillors, but this whole schedule should have come before the committee, and that's why it's here today.
Right.
So it was actually signed without actual knowledge of what it was all about.
Well, that's an interesting comment, actually, because what we've discovered, Rich and I, is we have not been following the financial regulations properly, and nor was it before we arrived. What is meant to happen is that a schedule of payments comes before the committee every month. They're signed off by the committee, and at that meeting, the invoices are signed by two councillors. That's how it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's going to happen from now. Is that right, Rich?
Okay. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, these payments were from August the 6th to September the 5th last year. I would just like to propose that we accept them.
Yeah.
It's been done.
Okay. Can we have a show of hands to approve that, please? Yeah. That's anyone against, please? Abstentions?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Thank you very much, Judith. Well, thank you for that.
I was quite happy with that.
Okay. That's better. And item 21, to approve the councillor attendance log for publishing on the council website. YLCA advised that this is entered onto the council website as best practice and is listed on the checklist of policies. Can I ask our clerk, please, to give a comment on this, if you would?
I've had a couple of queries, and so it's going to be altered accordingly. Councillor Davies' overall percentage attendance has gone up from 72 to 74%, and Councillor Dalton's overall percentage has gone up from 35% to 39%. If anybody else has any queries about the figures, would they let me know before I publish it?
Right. Yes. Yes. Councillor Brooke.
Yeah, can I make a comment? Obviously, you look at these figures, it looks bad that some people, don't turn up to certain meetings. It should be some sort of thing saying where people have apologised due to work or like that, because obviously life goes on and other things do come ahead. If you look at these, some, look really bad, but, realistically, it's because work commitments or other commitments come ahead. This should be put on the website that, due to work commitments.
Well, can I say that apologies are given at meetings, and they're either accepted or not accepted by the councillors. They're not the reasons are not recorded, but the reasons are given to the councillors. But the idea of this is so that the electorate can see how busy their representatives have been, and it's not really a matter for saying why you didn't make it. It's just a very crude way of showing who's most active. I don't think it's a very good measure, but it's there and that's where it's meant to be.
Right, thank you for that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Kirklees Council still use a similar method of annual recording of attendance figures. Is that still working? Is it still going?
Yeah, it's on. If you go onto the Kirklees site and look at your councillor, yeah, you can see the full attendance figures. Yeah, it's there live on a monthly basis. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much for that. Di, your comments, please.
Yes, I mean these figures aren't a true recommendation of our commitment. I think the problem is that we are all doing this job voluntary, unpaid, and that quite a few of us at our time of life now are trying to enjoy ourselves going on holiday. And this is the reason that some of these attendances are low, because we can't be in two places at once. And that holidays are sometimes booked way in advance of the schedules coming out for future meetings. I think that ought to be a consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And that's the end of the agenda.
No, it's not, Mr. Chairman, please.
Go on.
Yeah,
Councillor Dalton, please go ahead.
I've already brought this matter up with the Deputy Clerk to review the figures that have been put against my name.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a member attendance log to reflect what meetings that councillors attend, that they're due to attend or they've been summoned to attend.
Right.
Now, other councillors may have issues with their attendance records, but at least we can get the arithmetic right and such that it's a true record. Now, why 54% represents 9 meetings out of 12? Maybe, Rich, you could describe this to me. I brought the subject up with you. You were going to bring it up with the clerk to the council. How can attending 9 meetings out of 12 end up being 54% when it's clearly 75%?
No, I say it should be 75.
Well, the log isn't recording that. Now, every planning meeting that I've been summoned to, I've attended 100%. The figure is down at 50%. Well, I was barred from attending the meetings. I would love to have represented the people in the Netherthorne ward on the planning committee. Unfortunately, I can't do so because of decisions made. But an accurate reflection on my attendance at planning meetings to which I've been summoned and which I'm allowed to attend is 100%, but it says 50. This isn't a true record of the facts.
Okay, well, we've taken note of exactly what
I mean, if
said.
we want to mislead the public, by all means, publish this.
What I would suggest is, clearly we won't have that documentation in front of us at this minute, but I'll take it up with the clerk and the deputy clerk, and we'll go through how the calculations are worked out, and we'll revise if required. Is that all right?
Well, the minutes are clear who's attended which meetings. It's a matter of basic arithmetic.
Yeah. So, are we okay with that? And we now appear to have gone through everything we had on.
Excuse me, we haven't had a vote on that issue, and I don't vote that we put an incorrect attendance log and publish it. We don't publish incorrect information.
Well, right. So,
if
we're looking at a revised log, which we can do, we can check it out, see if there's any revision required, and at that point we'll be able to put it on the public media.
Mr. Chairman, can I propose that we bring this to the next meeting where we get the correct figures and then it's agreed properly, please? There's a problem been raised. It needs to be adhered to, and then we need to vote it on the next full council meeting. We can't say yes when the figures get someone. It's got to be agreed that by every full councillor that it is the right information. So we need to delay that to the next full council meeting.
That's sensible.
That's fair enough. Yep. Yep.
We can take it at that point and see what calculations have been revised. Okay. Yep. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, my suggestion will be that any councillors that have any issues with it, they put their concerns to the clerk and the deputy clerk, and we get it in the next few days or next week or so, and then we can get a new list for the next meeting and then go from there.
Okay. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Judith, go on.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm just having a fiddle.
Oh, right, okay.
Lovely having a fiddle.
Thank you very much for your attendance, folks. We've got through everything, and it's just taken us 5 minutes over and above what we anticipated it would take. So, very well done. Congratulations. Again, sorry about the hiccup to get things rolling initially, but we did it eventually. Okay. I see two hands up at the moment.
I think it's waving.
Oh, is he waving goodbye?
I'm not. Can I just say something?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you. I think it's gone brilliantly for the first attempt tonight. I think it's done far better than we all expected. And thanks for everybody that's put all the hard work into it. Brilliant.
Agreed.
Well done.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you want to, Doug's? Go ahead if you.
Yeah. Just while everybody's here, obviously there's we're in a very similar position with the land charity as we are with the parish council, in that we haven't been meeting. I have been having conversations about it, and we're planning to have a management meeting on the a week on the 9th of June, a week on Tuesday. But we were planning, we need to have an annual trustee meeting because none of you have had a chance to attend a meeting yet. So we're thinking now of having the annual meeting following the planning meeting on the 6th of July. I've spoken to Rachel and Trevor about this and the people on the management committee, but it's just a heads up really that we need to get one in because obviously we'd only just started to get it back on track and we've immediately lost 2 or 3 months really. So it was just an update really about the land charity that we are planning to have an annual meeting on the 6th of July. That's just for information. And the other thing is, and it's more of a discussion topic, but we know now that currently the parish toilet's closed, but we know that retail's due to open in a couple of weeks. And if people come to Holmefirth, they can't use cafe toilets as normal. So I'm hoping that the CAST committee can look at services provision. I'm not even sure if it's services provision or CAST, but I do think we need to look at getting that toilet reopened.
No way.
And I think that means we need to get extra staffing or extra expenses for sanitised products to keep it a clean environment. That's important as well. But I don't know how we can take that forward. I think we need to move quite quickly on that.
Can I just come in on this, please? The sanitising liquid is only as good as the people that use it. If you put some on your hand and you use a doorknob or a handle or something like that, and the person before you has not done the same, then it's void. Where's he going?
Okay, so
I guess my point is just that I think we need to find a way to make that toilet
very dangerous. Yeah.
If we're looking,
somebody would have to be there on the 24. Well, all the time they were open, and every time somebody'd been to the toilets, there would have to be somebody going, wipe the toilet down, wipe the doorknobs, wipe all the taps and everything. They'd have to. It would be a nightmare at this moment in time. We need at least, I would say, a 3 months clearance of no further problems with this coronavirus before we contemplate opening those toilets. Think about it, that shops and businesses aren't opening theirs. So, and there has been some problems with certain people using those toilets in quite an inappropriate way.
Right. Let's have a look now. I don't know who's the first. It was there's Michael, Jason, and Mary, all with hands up. Ladies first, do you think?
I was just going to say, you know, this is an important issue, and I don't think this is the time to discuss it, really.
You don't what?
I think it's an important issue, but at this point, this is perhaps not the time to discuss it. But we do need to make a response, and yeah, and quickly.
Yep.
Well, we have to look at it this way. Are the parish council going to be responsible for anything that happens if by opening the toilets it causes somebody some problems health-wise?
Chair, are we speaking once or several times?
Well, we're speaking several times at the moment because we've actually finished the meeting.
Yeah. Right. Now then, Michael, your comment, please.
My comment is that I think there is pros and cons on both sides, and this isn't the forum to discuss it because it's not been on an agenda item. However, I think it does need putting on an agenda item for the relevant committee so it can be fully discussed and then decide which way they're going to go. But I think it does need some thought and someone to look at the guidance and there and make a decision either way, rightly or wrongly. It needs to be on the relevant committee agenda.
Well, I do. I am aware that the clerk and the deputy clerk have been speaking to John, our man who deals with the toilets, seeking his thoughts on how things were and which way he feels we ought to go. So perhaps from the man who's serviced them for the past couple of years, it might be a useful item to talk to him for a start and just see what his comments were. Yeah. Are we okay at that? Yeah, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to concur with Councillor Pogson there. I think it's not for tonight to discuss, but yes, it does need to be reviewed in future. Even if it's the next full council, if people think it should be on the full council, so that everyone can have a comment about this. You know, the time by July, a lot of shops may be open, and we may need to review the situation with the toilets. It was agreed that the time that March, that the chairman and the clerk agreed with appropriate actions that it needed to be closed. It was closed. It was happened. That what happened. So I think if we can bring it to the July meeting, if anybody wants to speak about this, that'd be the best thing to do.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now then, is Ben wanted to say a few words?
Yeah, just to say that I think that if you don't drive and you're coming into Home First to do some shopping, the toilets are essential, given that all the pubs are shut. You can't nip into the pub to go to the loo. So I would speak in favour of the toilets opening as an essential. And if you're in the vulnerable category, you don't have to use the toilet. But someone like myself who maybe doesn't drive and goes into Home First to do some shopping for his family might want to use the public toilets and and that's my decision, or uses them's decision. So that's what I'd say.
Okay. Well, at least we've brought this to light as a potential thing for us to sort out semi-urgently for the future. So, Tom,
Yeah, my thoughts on this are, from my recent experience of having a heavily pregnant girlfriend, is that you need to plan visits, knowing how far you're going to go in case you need to go to the toilet. So at the moment, with the toilets not being open, you kind of need to budget your time accordingly. So like when we're going to places, we're not going very far at the moment because we need to be back for a certain time.
Well, I'll put it this way, Tom, I wouldn't be encouraging your girlfriend to go into public toilets if she's pregnant. If she's pregnant.
Yeah. I won't be doing that.
Right. Can we say thank you very much for tonight's attendance, and thank you for all your comments. They've all been noted, and obviously we shall work on what we've done tonight. Thanks once again.
Could we ask the clerk to put that item on the agenda for next full council, please?
Yes, it can. We'll see what stage we're at. Yep. Thank you very much indeed.
It'll be discussed at the CAS meeting, I'm hoping, anyway. So hopefully,
well, whether it's discussed at the CAS meeting or not, it won't put it on full council for everybody.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Did you save me any money? He's go-
No.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what you're doing, Di?
Yes, I'm going to leave you now.
Yep.
This little box that says leave.
Yep. You
Bye,
don't.
bye, bye.
Yeah, Di, well done.
Bye. Thank you.